Hello, we are live for another open source Thursday. Welcome, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tiago. Welcome.
Yeah, almost Friday,
Thank
but
God.
yeah, I hope you are in the mood already. At least in our side, we have been working on some really great news we're going to share in a little bit. So it's super exciting to be here. And yeah, let us know where are you talking from. Say hi in the chat when you join. We are monitoring the chat. And yeah, all right. So as always, if this is your first time here, Open Source Thursdays is one of the Hack Steps projects. And we started doing these lives to show the reality of contributing to open source. Right now, we are focusing on Ruby on Rails, and we have done some progress so far, and we share everything with you. So it's a very exciting progress, and we are always working on making the content more accessible to you. And yeah, so what are we going to talk about today?
So we have some pretty interesting news to share with everyone. And we also have to clean up some of the tests from last session
Yeah.
because we were contributing to Rails and we changed the default, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we added some tests, but then we saw this week that the tests were broken, so we gotta fix that. And then we got some feedback from another person pointing out that this is related to something else, so we have to check that.
Yeah.
And then we also have to, yeah, we just want to share some updates.
Mm-hmm.
And we got
Yeah.
some people joining us. Welcome,
Nice.
welcome.
Welcome. Hi,
Hello.
Hugo. We are based in Vancouver, Canada. Nice. Hope the fall is already showing up on Paris as well.
Hello, João
Hello. Oh, sorry,
Paulo.
I missed Julian. Hello, Julian. It's been a while.
Julian,
How are you?
how are you doing?
Hello, João Paulo. Hello, Juan. Super
Hello,
nice to
Juan.
see everyone here. Yes, elbow. Hi.
Elbow cough.
Elbow.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Welcome. Uh, so let us know if you have any questions about the issues.
Mhm.
And just before we share the screen, just a quick update. We canceled this Saturday's watch party. If you don't know what watch party is, we watch some tech talks together, and then we do some exercises. We answer some questions before and after we watch the talk, so you learn more and you retain the knowledge. But because of the news that we are about to share, we just got too many things happening at the same time. I also am preparing my talk for RubyConf and hope to see you there. So it's just a lot of things. I had to prioritize things. In the meantime, I hope you are aware. We are working on a session with Aaron Patterson. You might know him as Tender Love. He's a great teacher and a great contributor in the Ruby and Rails community. We're looking forward for this event. We hope you get to learn a lot. We're going to send some email updates later today or
I thought we were
tomorrow.
going to do some suspense before. Anyway,
Wow, let's go
let
already.
me just show it. So we are gonna have an open source Thursdays with Tender Love.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting for us because we're big fans, right?
Yeah.
And he's a super cool person, always sharing his knowledge and his funny jokes. And it's gonna be awesome. So if you haven't heard about it, just next week he's gonna join us, and we're gonna work on a project that he's doing now, which is a just-in-time compiler for Ruby, written in Ruby, which is pretty cool. It's a good way to learn the internals of Ruby and how to build a compiler, how to build something more complicated.
Yeah.
And he also has, it's an open source project, and he's adding some issues that he wants help with. And so we're gonna pair on that. We're gonna build some code. We're gonna learn how the CPU works, how compilers work, and then we're gonna build something together. It's gonna be super awesome. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter yet, do that, please do, and also go to this website and sign up for the event to get all the updates and everything.
Yeah, I already shared.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and we are also working on next month another cool session with Chris Oliver from Go Rails. So we're working on some cool stuff, but hopefully we will get enough energy to keep doing the normal lives every Thursday.
That's why I got my coffee with coffee liquor and milk.
Yeah.
Too much.
All right. So that's all from our end before we get started. Let me know if there's any comments or any questions. Otherwise, we will jump to the issue we are working on. And all right. Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah, it seems that Twitch is not working, but doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah. I've never touched anything with compilers as well. Like, I'm also in the same boat, Julian. Yeah, I think it will be fun.
Yeah, so I worked in university and I built a little compiler, but it was C code. It's super annoying. So I have to use Go choose everywhere. But the stuff that he's building is kind of cool because it's just Ruby code. It's a good to learn, right?
Yeah.
So not something crazy, pointers and everything.
Yeah. All right. You want to share your screen? So
I can close this.
Where do you want to maybe make it bigger?
Larger.
Yeah, larger.
Yeah, so we are working on this issue here, prepare statements not available, but not enabled by default for MySQL 2. And if you remember, we started working on this and we added a deprecation warning. And that is done. I think it was reviewed already by Marcelo. And I don't know if they're gonna merge it or not, when they're going to merge it, but it's reviewed.
Do you want to show it real quick? And then I was thinking maybe we can fix the change log one more time. I don't know, maybe that will help it get merged. That's also something that I don't know. For example, the person that helped us into opening this PR approved it, but then I don't know what happens after that. Like, does someone else needs to approve it? What happens between approved and be merged?
That is a good question. I think we could ask that to Aaron next week.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it's good to go, but maybe they have to wait. I don't know how they prioritize those things. So.
Yeah, because that would be cool. So do you want to quickly update the change log for that one? Oh, no, we can do it later, actually. Yeah.
Important.
It's not.
Yeah, so we got that going. And then we also have the other pull request that changes the default.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty small. It just changes the default from to my MySQL adapter. The default is going to be true now. And we added a test, but then we realized, oh, we broke a bunch of the other tests, so we have to fix the other tests.
Yeah.
So if you see here, it's not passing. Oh, it's not passing. And then we also got some feedback from Beirut saying, are you aware of this other issue? I think this issue would need to be fixed before the default is changed. So I guess we have to wait until this other thing gets
It
merged.
get merged. Do we know if there is anyone working on it?
This other one?
Yeah.
Let's
Like
see.
what's the state of that one?
So let's see what this is. So statements with timestamp should not be prepared, even if prepared statements is enabled in MySQL 2 adapter. Okay, so it kind of touches on the same area. When prepared statements is enabled for MySQL, all the statements we prepare, even if the statement is not suitable for being prepared. Oh, so I guess it doesn't work or something if you have timestamps in there. For example, the following code will create 3 prepared statements. So you have prepared statements with some timestamps here. See the prepared statements for MySQL logs. So it exacts this query where command type prepare, and then you have some order by, blah, blah, blah. So you have the queries here and those timestamps here. The more times it gets executed, the more prepared statements are created. Interesting. The memory usage will keep growing until you reach the limit. May be related to prepared statements eat lots of memories. Rails prepared statement cache is risky. Add prepared statement support for MySQL 2 adapter. So I guess this might cause some trouble when you're using timestamps, and it's gonna keep using memory, and bad things might happen. And so we have some steps to reproduce. This is pretty cool. So we can probably just run this and see what happens. So they have a Rails app using boundary lines. We know all about that already. And then, so it connects to MySQL database. It has one table called users. Let's see here, have a user model, and then they have a test here. And so they connect to the database, and then he creates mock statements. Yeah, okay, so just a mock, and then expects, executes, returns. Yeah, just a mock here, I guess. Then you stub the connection, always returns true, and then raw connection expects prepare. Yeah, it's just mocking stuff. And then you do user where ID, and then you get the list. Connection returns true, expects prepare never. So I guess when you run this query here, it's expecting that prepare never gets called, right? So I think what he's saying here is that when you execute this query here, user where ID, where using a filtering by a timestamp, you shouldn't use prepared statements ever, even if they are enabled, probably to prevent that issue where the memory gets used. So he's just saying that here. Even if I run this thing, if I pass in a timestamp, you shouldn't prepare this statement, right? And then this other, when it's false, yeah, it's just changing, just mocking the flag, stubbing the flag, sorry. And then you should also not call prepare, should not prepare the statement. And then it's the same query, but it doesn't have the timestamp. Okay. Expected, prepare to not be invoked in this guy here, but it does get prepared. And so probably what is happening is it's not detecting, oh, there's a timestamp here. And then it's preparing the statement, even though they don't want this behavior. That's what I'm thinking here.
I wonder if that's a behavior that is only happening on MySQL. We can take a look at that.
So it seems to me that they only want this behavior on MySQL too. So even if it's enabled, they don't want to prepare statements for that uses timestamps because there's kind of a memory leak or something, using too much memory. I don't know. So let's see, can you be more specific? I don't understand the demo code. What memory issues this has? Maybe you should tackle the root cause. Root cause seems to be that when you have one where filter and another one, it generates the query like this. Note how ID was parameterized here, but created at was not. Yes, it looks like a bug, right? So each invocation will prepare a new query. Oh, so maybe they have some kind of cache or something that looks at the query and says, oh, it's the same query or not. If it's not the same query they prepared, something like that. That's my guess here. I don't know. Now, note how ideas parameterized created wasn't. Each invocation would prepare a new query. That is bad because you don't want to be prepare a bunch of queries if they're the same, right? You're just passing some parameter. So see that if you, so let's suppose the query is just this part here, right? Without the end. If I call this thing multiple times, it's the same query because I'm just passing a parameter, right? So the parameter can be different, can be anything for the prepared statement query, but the query itself, the SQL, is the same. So if you cache it, it's just going to be the same. But if this, in this case here, it's not parameterized, right? So it doesn't have this. It's just adding the timestamp itself. So probably you could fix this by doing the same thing with the timestamp. I think. I'm just guessing here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just have no idea, but this is how it looks to me.
Yeah. Keep in mind that we have more context of this issue because we had spent lots of hours understanding the other issue that is kind of related to this one. Otherwise, I think it would take way longer.
So let's see here. Can you be more specific? Imagine that we have user where, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, see, it's parameterized here, somewhere in the controller. Every time the query gets executed, you will create a new prepared statement. Memory usage in the MySQL server will grow as the number of prepared statements increases. Yeah, that makes sense. The dev will not understand. The line if without prepared statements binds in MySQL adapt may be the root cause. The logic is different with Postgres, in which it was written as an if not prepare or without prepared statements binds. Oh, interesting. So
yeah, this is what I was asking. Like I was thinking, is this something that is behaving differently just for MySQL? Because then that could be like a lead or something.
Yeah, it seems that for MySQL, the code is slightly different. I'm going to open the code here. But it's nice that the person added context. So connection adapters, PostgreSQL adapter, and MySQL database statement. So it's in slightly different places. Is that query if without prepared statements, it does this, and then for Postgres, it does something slightly different, right? If not prepare, and then here we can see exact query on.
What's the MySQL?
It's MySQL. Exact query, prepare false as the default. Without prepared statements, it does something. I wonder if this is here. Yeah. don't know. Maybe someday somewhere else, but yeah. So it does that on MySQL. On Postgres, it does something slightly different. Not prepare.
Hmm.
It has this parameter here, and so I think So I think there's an open pull request to fix that.
No,
No.
that's ours.
Oh, that's ours.
It's just
Oh,
because
okay.
he mentioned the issue.
Hmm.
So actually, that one, the second pull request. Well, maybe let's go back a little bit. We have the PR that adds the deprecation. That one was approved.
Mhm.
And then since we already knew where to change the default, we open another pull request. But the second one requires the deprecation to be merged first.
Yeah.
In the second one, we got the I don't know, by root mentioned that there is this also another issue kind of related to the same issue that we are working on. So that's actually good because we were going to wait anyway for the first one to be merged.
Yeah, but
So
in my view, those things are not related.
yeah.
So we want this bug to be fixed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we want this bug to be fixed. When
Yeah.
they fix this bug, they will merge. They will
The
merge
second
ours,
one.
probably. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you don't want to change the default before you fix this bug because this
Yeah.
is dangerous, right?
Yeah.
This is bad. And so probably our pull request is not really related to this,
Yeah,
but it
but
has to wait
yeah,
until this
is
thing is
affected
fixed.
by
Yeah,
this one.
it has to wait, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's kind of
Well,
it's
yeah,
kind of related, but not directly.
got disrupted.
Yeah.
Disrupted.
So I
Um,
guess we will have to. So our pull request, we will have to wait until they fix this issue.
mhm.
And when did they open this issue?
It was, I think,
August.
about the same time.
Okay. Yeah, I guess someone has to fix this. We could
We
try
can
to
ask
fix this.
Aaron. Like, I saw that he commented there.
Mm.
This is what we think it
Hey,
is.
Aaron, can we fix this? Yeah, I guess we could take a look at this one, maybe. But I
Mm-hmm.
guess more people have more context here. But yeah,
Yeah.
I guess we can finish the other one, fix the tests, and then maybe
Mm-hmm.
take a look at this. But I think it's not affected by this. It's
Yeah.
just it has to wait until this is fixed.
Yeah.
And
So
what should we answer here? Are you aware? I think this issue would need to be fixed. Yeah, I think. Oh, oh, okay.
yeah,
So
just Julian, I was waiting on a better time to answer your question. Is compilers more of C and C++?
yeah, so if you look at Ruby, Ruby's compiler is C, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
generates C code, right? And you can. There's a book, the Dragon book, that teaches how to write compilers. So if you study computer science, usually you have to read that book and build a
Mm.
compiler. But you don't necessarily need to write a compiler with C. It's just that it's kind of common. But there are many tools nowadays to build a compiler
Mm.
that are kind of better.
Mm.
But it's just a common thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's common to learn how to build a compiler using C, and but you don't necessarily need to use C. You can use other things. So, for example, I think that what is that language called? Swift. I think they use a
Swift?
different
Mm.
method to build the compiler. This is like called LVM or something. Let's check it.
Yeah, I
But
don't
yeah, there are many
actually know.
tools to build compilers. So this is one LLVM. So it kind of define the grammar. It's an interesting topic to talk about, like how to build a compiler. But you can use different tools for that stuff. I'll just place some links here. And then you can also take a look at the Dragon Book if you're interested in that stuff. So Dragon Book, the compilers.
Yeah.
It's called the Dragon Book because the what is it called? The face
The cover?
the cover, it's a dragon. Because compilers are hard to build. It's a very complicated thing.
Yeah.
And so you see that the programmer is kind of battling the dragon, which is the compiler. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, that kind of stuff. Check that out. Compilers, principle, techniques, and tools. And then this book teaches you how to build a compiler using C, right? So it's kind of a common thing. Yeah, just for instance, if you're interested.
Ruby is an interpreted language, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
it's interpreted,
that's why.
but it does generates just generates other code, like machine code.
Yeah.
And so, for example, if you look at the Ruby repository on GitHub, let's see, Git Ruby, where's the Ruby?
People also ask, what is repository Ruby?
Should be, yeah, it's not on GitHub, it's a mirror, but it's a mirror. So if you look here on the project, you're gonna see a bunch of C files, right? That does a bunch of stuff. So one interesting one is the garbage collector. So you can just read the code for the garbage collector for Ruby. And so, yeah, that's how it works. So you write code in Ruby, it gets turned into C code and gets interpreted, right? So the compiler, you can be an interpreter as well. It's kind of a similar thing. It's kind of related to a compiler. So you don't compile the code. You have an interpreter that reads Ruby code and turns it into something else and executes it. Yeah, it's an interesting topic to talk about if you're interested.
Nice. All right. Good questions, William.
So you can probably build an interpreter. So I think I started building an interpreter for Lisp using Ruby. And so you just write some code that reads a file and executes some other code, right? And it's pretty much an interpreter. It's just a program that reads code and does something else, right? And then there's a bunch of stuff involved. So, for example, you can look at the virtual machine, or you just generates like machine code directly. But yeah, let's not get into that because it's
I guess you really need to like this to enjoy. I don't know. Like, I think it's one of those things that you really want to enjoy it, to do it on your learning time. I don't know. Like, it has to be something really important to you. Like, for example, it's not my favorite thing, I think.
Well,
but it's cool. Yeah.
It depends. So, for example, when you look at a DSL, right? So, if you look at RSpec, for example, it's kind of a language, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a way to express how to test something. And that gets transformed in some other Ruby code, like execute some stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of creating a language, right? That is well suited for some specific task. So, for example, RSpec is kind of a language, right? It's a DSL. And if you look at ERB on the views, so you have ERB, which is another language, right? It gets interpreted. And you can also look at YAML or even Slim. So Slim for Rails, it's another language that gets interpreted. So anyway, we can talk about this for hours.
Cool stuff. Yeah, that's good. I have some questions for next week. Coming back to today's agenda, I think what I would reply there is that we are actually waiting on the first one, and maybe we can even say already approved. And we can ask, should this bug, the 43005, be fixed before this one is merged?
Is there a way
Oh
to
yeah,
say
they are
that
saying that. I
depends
think this
on-
issue would need to be fixed.
Maybe we can put on the description. What do you think? Let's say should it depends on this other issue being fixed first. So we
He's
don't merge
saying
it.
I don't think it's definite. Like, I don't know. But can we ask just to confirm? Like, so we are actually waiting on the deprecation one to be merged first. We can add this issue in the
Same
body.
reply here.
Yeah.
So reply.
So thanks for bringing this up.
What else?
Oh yeah. Oh no, you don't. Sorry, you don't. I didn't mean anyone to feel anything. Sorry. Don't ask. Don't feel sorry about anything. It's just that I know that this one, when he gets super, you know, in depth or something, we could spend hours here.
Yeah. Trying to focus.
Try to focus. But bring your questions for next Thursday.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
it
it's
will
a
be
great
good.
question to ask Aaron.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna explain everything about this. You know,
Exactly.
interpreters, compilers is gonna help us build a compiler, right? And
Yeah.
then you're gonna learn everything of how it works.
Yeah. So hang in there.
Okay, so what else?
Thanks for bringing this
I
up. So
guess we'll have to wait until 4.3.
43005 is fixed.
Is fixed until merge
This PR.
this.
Yeah, I would just also add a note that this one is also waiting on the previous one to be merged.
This PR is also waiting on the previous PR. Can link it.
Yeah, let's sneak it.
Which is this one? No.
No, that's the issue.
Oh,
yeah.
Copy link.
I wonder if we can ask, like, do you know that one was approved? We're just waiting it to be merged.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say? Sorry.
I would just add like this was approved. We're just waiting for it to be merged. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it will tell us. So now I guess we can look at the
tests
that failed.
Yeah.
Because I think there was a test that used the
prepared statement.
The default to test something else.
Okay.
And we changed the default, so maybe we have to specify what they want there.
Yeah.
This one.
Which file is that?
So fixtures test leaky destroy.
Test leaky destroy. Let's see where that one is.
This guy. Or...
Oh, okay.
It's
No, I
being
think that,
used in
yeah.
multiple places. We could run. Let's just run fixture. Yeah, I guess it's fixtures test.
Mm,
So like this. Let's see how it's out there. So this is test cases. Test cases. So it's not adapters. Fixtures. Test. Fixtures test.
test. Therapy.
Yeah, let's see if it fails, and then we can fix it.
Ah. Oh.
Oh, I have to work.
Ah. We always forget that. Nice. Did another tests related to this change?
Hmm, you mean other errors?
Yeah.
This is just this one. Well, maybe I don't know.
I
How
think if
they
you take a look
reported
at the entire
doesn't
yeah
the road
oh, okay,
actually
so it's just that one.
yeah, just that one.
All right.
No,
Mm.
am I running the right test? Probably not. Fixtures tests.
Okay.
Interesting.
Where are you seeing the
Is this guy here? Transactional fixtures. MySQL. Maybe it's not running nice. Wait to be
MySQL
MySQL.
rebuild?
Signature test. I wonder if it's not running MySQL here.
Unknown. So the error is unknown prepared statement handler given to MySQL statement pre-check. What is that MySQL statement pre-check? Uh, maybe it's
It's
not.
probably the codes, not the test.
Ah, okay.
It gets generated. Yeah, it might be generated. Code.
That's the leak. Oh,
Let's
interesting.
leak destroy. So the base statements. It's fixtures test line 973. Fixtures tests. Fixtures test line 973.
Scoping default.
It's this guy here.
Interesting.
Courses. Set features class.
Oh.
Transactional test. Test leak destroy. It seems to be here. Maybe let me just double check.
That is interesting because
Let's just run everything.
mm-hmm.
I remove this, should run all the adapters or no?
Using MySQL. So we added a default and now it's complaining about memory stuff. Oh, I wonder if it's related to the issue that we were just seeing before.
Interesting. But why don't we get the same error? Rails test. Rails active record test.
Test case fixtures
Yeah, we should get the
test.
same probably. Or maybe it's not.
I don't think it's updated our branch.
Oh.
So maybe we can update it with main and then we run it again. But I think that's a really good.
No, because this one, the CI is running on our branch, right? We have to maybe run
the
same command. Rebuild. What is rebuild?
Or
we could run this. It's gonna take a while though, but maybe MySQL.
yeah, But we
Because it
can
might be
try.
something you need to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So now we get it.
That's a different one.
Mm.
Different one.
Mm. Runtime
Yeah,
error.
it's a different one.
Yeah.
Let me try running that
Mm-hmm.
test. So if I run this guy here, where's this guy here? Rate DB.
Interesting.
DB.
I wonder if it is
It's
also.
stupid. I wanna read it.
I
Rate
guess
DB MySQL.
I can open it.
Rate DB MySQL. B MySQL.
Um,
Rate DB MySQL. Rebuild. MySQL 2 times. So let's see what happens here.
yeah, I have it here now. If you need. I wonder if this is one of those that only runs that depends on some CI configurations. But regardless, I think we can add in there like, oh, when we added the default here, we started getting these errors. Okay. But it didn't do anything.
Nine-piece conversion hash into string. Interesting.
Mm.
What is that? Yes, that's interesting. So if you do rake db MySQL rebuild,
Mm.
and then you do the test, you just complains about it.
Right.
But maybe you did. Did we ever run all the MySQL tests?
No.
locally? Yes, no.
It takes some time. Hash into a string.
Interesting. You think it's related to that change?
Do you want to maybe?
You wanna try running this on main?
Yeah,
And,
we can do that.
yeah, let's try that. Maybe
Let's
we
see
can
what.
fetch main first. No, let's just go to main.
Yeah, I would do that. Otherwise, you have to rebase and everything. Oops, sorry. Oh, you have to fetch on GitHub first. The
But
upstream.
I didn't fetch upstream. Do you think we need it?
Oh, okay. You don't want to do
I
that.
just want to
Okay.
run that and see what happens. Yeah, so main has the same problem.
Hmm.
I wonder if. Let's try to fetch upstream, maybe. What do you think?
Doesn't hurt. At least we.
Because this might be some error that is unrelated.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not even here, right? This error is not. Oh, sorry. This guy here. Yeah, we could try to fetch upstream here.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem related, but let's try that. So fetch on main, right?
Yeah.
Fetch on main. Just update this thing here. Fetch and merge. And then let's get.
Let's get it.
This. It's the same thing. I think it's unrelated.
So if you run the entire command that
Maybe it's not running the wrong command. That could be it. Not really.
so running runner active record RakeDB rebuild MySQL test. Are you running that one?
Sorry. Let me just double check the error here on CI.
Mm-hmm.
So it's running active record. MySQL 2.
Yeah. When in this new PR, we are not setting the default for the test, right? Do you think it is
We are
related?
setting the new default. Right?
Oh, sorry. In the tests configuration files. Like remember that we did that in the first one, so we didn't get the duplication warnings and stuff.
Yes.
So that PR has that configuration in the tests. Do you think we also need to add a default in the configuration here in the tests?
Yeah, we could. We could add the default. But I would like to be able to reproduce that error, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's not failing for me on my local, I'm not sure if it's my code or just a CI issue, like something on the CI that happens. Because let's look at the error again.
Yeah.
That unknown prepared statement handler given to MySQL. So maybe this, yeah, maybe that's what you're saying. Maybe there's no, the credit statements flag is false for some reason or true.
Or it's not
this kind of-
existent at all.
Hmm.
Because I think that we literally did that in the other one. Oh, I really wish that one was purged. It would save some
No,
trouble.
but I mean, this is not the default. This is a handler.
Hmm.
So probably some method or something that gets added when you set the flag or something.
Hmm.
So it's saying, oh, statement pre-check something something.
So interesting.
So it's saying here, assert nothing is raised. Test leak destroy. So let's see this assert here. Maybe we can.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted you to let you know that when you search that error, no prepared statement handler, there are some issues on Stack Overflow.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if it's something that we will need to also change. Like,
yeah, it's probably related to the default, right? Because here's saying that nothing should be raised, and then it's raising the error. So I wonder if you change the default, you get an error here. Maybe we could inspect this. Let's see.
See, it is definitely so. Search. I found this issue on Node, MySQL. So if you go there, it's almost the same thing. Like the person saying that when they call the prepared statement multiple times, it kind of crash, and it's related to cached statement. And I also see some parameters.
Can you post it on the private chat? I can't really click on this.
Oh, sorry. Where is it again? Okay. So interesting. this is definitely something bigger.
And a press statements handler given to blah blah blah. Search as is old.
I know, but there's a lot of
Interesting, never seen anything like this. Press statement handler is just an integer. It's local to the connection. When your connection executes, this is what happens. You get right is there. When you execute again, same happens. Server ID is looking for stated cache. Also, it's getting from the cache. I guess this might be a what is it called? Intermittent error or something. Something that doesn't happen all the time. Because this is Node.js. It's not related, right? So
I
it's
know
a
it's
problem
not,
on
but
MySQL.
exactly, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think maybe by enabling the default, the spread statements is being enabled and used, and then for some reason when you run the test, it might crash or something, do something weird.
Yeah.
And that's why they're saying, oh, you shouldn't enable the default. Right? Interesting.
That is
That is a bummer.
interesting. So that is a more complicated thing that we were expecting.
I wonder if we run the CI again, we see the same error.
Try it.
Because it might be something that's kind of intermittent. It's not. There's a term for this. I forgot the term, but it's an error that happens sometimes.
Before you trigger CI again, copy the error so we can see it.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember if we lose them.
Because if you saw that, I'm running it here and I don't see that.
Yeah.
Let me just copy
this. Well, yeah. The good thing is that maybe it's a MySQL error.
Well, it's not. It's a MySQL limitation, maybe.
Limitation, yeah.
And that means maybe you can't enable the default, right? Because it's kind of do it at your own risk thing.
Right. Well, that's good information to add in the other issue, right?
Yeah. That's interesting. It's interesting to learn something specific to the database, right?
Yeah.
It's not some error that you would be aware of if you don't collaborate and work on an issue. So let's run this again a couple of times and see what happens. I think if we run the CI again, maybe we're not going to get this error. This guy here, right? Oh, but I think it's MySQL. I think I have to
bundle install.
What happened here? I didn't change anything. Maybe it's the rebuild thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
That's good information. Like by trying to fix this test, we got information about the other issue. So it is definitely related.
Yeah, I'm curious now about this. So let's see prepared statements. Memory issue.
Memory leak.
Okay. This is old.
2018. Maybe it hasn't been solved.
Fixed.
Solved. See, 2020, people are still asking if it was.
Oh, interesting.
So, is MySQL open source?
Yes.
So
you have you have MySQL. I think it's owned by Oracle now. Right? And
Oh.
then you have MariaDB,
Yeah.
which is a fork of MySQL. They kind of have the same API or something.
Interesting.
Server, a few hours later, like spikes until it crashed. Yeah, this is recent, 2020.
Yeah.
And then this is the first time I tried some memory leak. I don't know where I should start. And then some code, and then no replies. Okay. You're never closing any of your prepared statements. Either close them or try with resources.
Okay.
Memory leaks will hang your server until the operation is complete. I'm not sure if it's related, but it's interesting to know that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to close the connection, and then MySQL cleans the memory for the bad statements or something. Let's look at this one. Explore memory leak with prepared statements. Now let's throw in an error. Blah blah. Access an orange version descent. Change the memory limit to a higher value. So let's see here. It can be a bug but not a leak. The bind statement. I have a blob column. I keep giving error. Try cancel voucher.
So the person replied, they said that they changed the type of the column.
Yeah, so it definitely is a thing that can cause problems.
Yeah.
Right?
If not used correctly. I think
So
that is one of
aware of this problem.
Yeah, it's maybe one of the things that needs to be documented. Like, if you're going to use this, make sure to, I don't know, close your statements. Otherwise, you will get. So maybe we can share all of this stuff in the other issue.
I think they were talking about this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it was in another issue or pull request or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I saw that. So
It was in the one that, what is his name? Jean?
here? Here?
So if you go in there, in the second one.
I mean, the one he mentioned?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Lost you. Because the names are so similar. This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's a problem.
Yeah, and you see, there are so many things there.
Lots of memories.
Yeah.
Not just one memory, but lots of it. Extremely risky. Oh, 2015. It was closed though. So let's see. Close this in. Rails makes some different queries, bind parameters. We could take a look at that. So there's probably. So let's see the area. Rails allows for up to 1,000 statements in the cache. Yeah, the portion can be one-off statements. Array is never generated by parents. Does not generate by parents. Regression, Rails 4. Bind parents can be generated from all conditions. For any reason, Rails start embedding values, blah blah blah. Only caching stuff that it has seen more than once. Well, no source replacing images can trigger cache bloat by having a per user statement. Yeah, but is this okay? Manual deployments like that. That's pretty old. 2015. 10 unicorns.
I think.
Inefficient.
Yeah, we can. I guess we can read this later. So it's almost 1 hour.
Yeah. Do not cache prepared statements that are likely to have cache hits.
This is a great commit.
Yeah, it's very well explained.
Yeah. I'm not 100% happy on the way this ended up being structured.
Hmm.
Oh, but I think he's only talking about. Uh, hmm.
Yeah, probably have to do some more digging, but I think that if we try to run the CI again,
Hmm.
and we could check if the error still happens,
Yeah.
and then it's probably related to the other one, and then that other one needs to be fixed. We could
Yeah.
look at that as well and
Yeah.
see, but we need more context into this stuff. I have no idea what they're talking about here.
Yeah. That's exactly the place
Mm.
that was mentioned in the issue.
Yeah, so maybe that's the reason the
It's
yeah,
not
but
by default.
it was for all of them, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Man, that is super interesting.
Being right, too much trust. Interesting. It's too generic. Yeah, we have to read this and understand what's going on,
Yeah.
and then run the CI again.
So, can you
It's kind
trigger
of
CI
old.
again? I think you have to update the branch, right? Or can
Yes.
you just.
I could create. I could just update the commit or something.
Yeah. I think I would just rebase.
Rebase main.
No, our branch that had the
What's the name again?
default.
Maybe dash here.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
So you mean not a main, just a rebase?
Well, fetch get mains. Did you get the updates on main?
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
mean
so
rebase on main, rebase main, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so that we push and it triggers CI. Oh, but did you copy the errors?
Yes.
Did you paste somewhere?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That would defeat the purpose.
Well, but I didn't see you pasting them anywhere.
No, you
So.
know, I have it here on here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Gotta make sure.
Did you copy? Yes. Did you paste? No.
I have to ask really explicit
Yeah.
questions here.
It's if copy,
Yeah.
else. Yeah. So I did the rebase. No conflicts. That's awesome. All right. So git push. I can't see this. Oops. What
Oh,
happened?
I
Okay. Git
think I have to do a
push.
force.
Oops.
Why don't you guys do git push? Force.
Sorry. I was kind of confused. Force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is a good stopping point for today. This
This stuff is
is
pretty interesting, right?
yeah, this is definitely more interesting than we expected.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff. We have to learn more about this. And yeah, thanks for showing up.
Bye.
And but I don't know. Could be
Yeah, I
related
have
to.
no idea. Since this one is already more than 1 hour, we would just comment on the related issue what we found. Maybe paste that error. See if CI breaks again. I think all of these are relevant
Yeah.
to the issue, and maybe we might decide not to add the default for MySQL, right? If it is a MySQL thing, then, or I don't know, it is added the default and then we just make a really good job at documenting it, letting people know that there are some memory issues and how they can.
I wonder
Right? I
if
don't
on
know.
the original issue, I wonder if they were not aware of this problem
Yeah.
because it was decided, oh, we can just add the default, change to true.
Mhm.
So maybe they were not aware of this issue. That's why. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can always go back to the original issue and say, hey, this thing is also
Exactly.
happening, right?
Exactly.
Cool. So it's good to learn.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah, because you wouldn't expect that you would get memory leaks just by running queries, right?
Yeah.
I'm just running some queries and then my database crashes or something. I don't know if it's a database or Rails.
Yeah.
But, it's cool.
That is interesting. I even wonder if this is one of these issues where, like, we can work on it, or it has to be someone from the team. Like, because it seems like this is a pretty old and like it goes back recurring issue.
Yeah, it seems to me that they added some kind of countermeasures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's kind of a countermeasure where they look at the query and they cache it or not.
Yeah.
They create the prepared statement or not, depending on how the query looks. So maybe that's kind of related. Maybe they haven't seen that it wasn't complete. Like the fix is not doesn't cover all cases or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's maybe that's a good point for today. Maybe we can do a short recap. Let me write them down here. Also, if you have any highlights to share with us, let us know in the chat. We like to post like a summary after each live on the tweet. It's always good for documenting and stuff. So we started trying to reproduce the error. Couldn't do it locally. And we are rerunning CI to check. We also learned that, how do we say that in English? Like the issue is way down.
Is not a priority?
No. Because in Portuguese, we have to say, oh, you start the issue here, but then it goes all the way down like a rabbit
hole.
Yeah. So the issue seems to be a recurrent problem with MySQL. And maybe it's why the default wasn't set for MySQL, like on Rails. MySQL wasn't set on Rails before. What else did we learn?
So we've learned that when using MySQL prepared statements, there's the possibility of a memory leak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way that active record, there's a mechanism that caches queries or something, which is pretty interesting. We could look into that to see how it works. And then there's also, I guess, kind of a fix for MySQL where they don't prepare statements when you have a timestamp in there or something. So we've learned that, which is kind of interesting. And then this might cause, so maybe we can't enable the default because this is kind of a tricky issue where you gotta understand what you're doing. If you don't understand it, you're gonna cause problems.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I also think they should, I don't know, like, is there a way to have a, like, maybe it is a documentation issue, like, this is a problem that is bigger and is happening back and forth, even if the default is not set, like the decision is not, no, we won't move forward with this.
Yeah, that's a good point. So if this problem was well documented, because you see that the discussions are on
Everywhere.
issues and pull requests. So maybe if you had that on the docs,
Yeah.
people wouldn't be confused because they would know, oh, this is not enabled because
Because
you
of
have to
this.
understand what you're doing, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah, makes
because
sense.
let's say we close this issue. Let's just say, no, the decision is we won't set the default. So we close the issue. And there's someone else like in
Yeah,
one
in
or
six
two,
months.
6 months, 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think also for everyone that works on these issues, like it's good to have a place where,
Context.
oh yeah, why we did this? Oh yeah, it's here. Like we know, we remember now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on Rails forums we might find something related to that. You guys
Yeah.
have some studying to do to fix this, and
Yeah.
maybe we can ask some questions on the issues. And next week we're gonna have something very different with Aaron Patterson, Tender Love. So make sure you sign up for that, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And then we can come back to this issue later.
Yeah. I think I will ask some questions about this issue to Aaron because he even commented on one of the issues. Yeah, so again, oh, I have to get my cat's food.
Yeah.
So Tiago will wrap up this session. Thank you. It was nice to see you all. See you next Thursday. I have to feed my cats. Bye.
Cats need to be fed. So I think just to wrap up, we kind of understood what was going on, and we have some questions to ask the team. So next week we're gonna have something slightly different, but while that happens, we're just gonna ask questions and see what people tell us and do some research, and we'll probably be able to continue the work on this pull request. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you've learned something, even if it's just understanding what's going on. And yeah, thank you for coming. And I'll see you next week with Adam Patterson, Tender Love, and we're gonna talk about TenderJit, a JIT compiler for Ruby. So yeah, check that out, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.